The UK immigration news is not bad, but not understanding how things work is a very horrible situation to be in. Today, we'll be talking about the recent news of the UK immigration. Yes, a lot of people say it is bad news, but lack of knowledge is one of the major hindrances to progress in life. Make sure you watch this video till the end so that you can understand the entire controversy from start to finish. I am breaking it down to the roots so that you feel like an immigration consultant after watching this video. And really, knowledge is power, and without it, you keep missing out on opportunities. My name is Caleb from Visa Point, and you're welcome to our channel. Please like this video, emphasis on like, because more people need to know about this. A lot of people have been misled by different things that they have heard. So I do not keep having misconceptions on what is actually going on and the steps that they need to take to make sure that it does not affect them. Also, if you are yet to subscribe, please do that now. We are here for you and only you. We are here to make your travel dreams come true, regardless of whatever happens. You agree with me that there has been a lot going on with UK politics, the UK government, immigration, and all of that. Recently, there have been updates and they might affect migration generally. So make sure you keep watching so that you have a full understanding of what is happening and what it actually is going to affect. Despite the fact that it will affect the rate of people going into the UK, it is not as bad as people make it seem. Make sure you stay till the end, because half information will make you join the rumor spreaders. It might affect international students and work visas. It might affect immigration into the UK in general. But there are ways around these things, and I want you to understand it so that you can understand how to go about finding the ways around it. If you think all hope is lost, then I think you're not doing yourself any good, because there is always a solution, and when you fully understand the story, you will know that you don't have much of a problem, provided you change your approach towards your applications in alignment with the updates. Listen, Rishi Sunak considers restriction of international students to curb migration. But in case you do not know who Rishi Sunak is, he is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. His spokesman said the idea came up after official figures showed that the net migration of UK had climbed to a record 550,000, but they declined to define a low-quality degree or preempt any policy decisions. A government migration advisor warned that it might bankrupt many universities. The Times has reported that plans to bring down numbers could include restricting admissions to top universities as well as restricting visas for students dependents. Take note of students, because that is what we're going to be analyzing later on. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, the appointed chancellor at the Exchequer last week, insisted immigration was required to boost growth, adding that there had to be a long-term plan if we are going to bring down migration in any way that doesn't harm the economy. He said migration will be needed for years ahead. That will be very important for the economy. The Department for Education could raise concerns over universities funding if the number of high-fee paying international students is cut. An advisor on immigration policy has warned some universities could go bankrupt if there is a clampdown on so-called low-quality degrees. He said most universities for most courses lose money on teaching British students and offset that loss by charging more for international students. If you close down the international route, I'm not sure how the university continues to survive. He said London, Cambridge and Oxford will continue to do well. But what about Newcastle? What about the Northeast, the Northwest, Scotland? He also warned that policy could result in massive increase in British student fees to make up for the loss of foreign students' payments. The National Union of Students said it would be laughable if the government made it harder for international students to study in the UK, given the country's skill shortage. It accused ministers of starving higher education of funds while encouraging the exploitation of foreign students as cash flows through their astronomical fees and violent visa regimes. Mr. Sunak, official spokesman, insisted that the PM supported Britain universities, which were some of the best in the world, but he was also fully committed to bringing overall immigration levels down, blaming unprecedented and unique circumstances for the record high. The official said, "We are considering all options to make sure the immigration system is delivering, and those include looking at the issue of student dependents and low quality degrees." So, what does this mean for international students? What does this mean for those moving into the UK to study? We will go into all that. But before that, let's talk about something very important. And I want you guys to be very, very observant on some keywords, because those are the things that will tell us the actions to take in the end. Rishi Sunak is considering curbs on foreign students taking low quality degrees and dependents. So highlight those two words: low quality degrees, dependents. Now you have taken note of that. Let's look at another data. Net migration hits a all-time record of 504,000. So the link to all the articles is in the description, so you can study it by yourself, study it at your spare time, so you can also understand it fully. Okay, so basically, we're going to go back to those three things I told you to highlight: low quality degrees, dependents, and the all-time hits. When we analyze these three things, we'll be able to come up with a solution, right? But before then, let's talk about some of the problems. Let's talk about some of the problems relating to the number of immigration or the rates of immigration. According to the news, which is not surprising, the UK is struggling with accommodation, and that is because of the rapid inflow of people that they did not plan for. According to reports, students were sleeping in the library and all that. But then again, when there is less accommodation, it's something you should expect, right? We have to understand that this is not just about UK. It is a general thing. It is just a normal thing that is bound to happen. They know that they've been benefiting a lot from migration, maybe the students, the workers, because they're in shortage of workers. For students, they need more people because they actually generate a lot of money. They generate a lot of revenue from students, and they need a lot of people to fill in occupations, right? This is something they are benefiting from. But as we know, obviously, they are bound to struggle, because even though they were benefiting from all this, they still did not try to curb it. They still did not take enough measures to prepare ahead. So let's analyze it now. This is simple logic. You were earning a certain amount of money, but you were working for just 8 hours a day, right? All of a sudden, you received an offer to earn times 5 or times 4 to work 16 hours a day. Obviously, what do you think is going to happen to the person? The person is going to struggle, because what the person is used to is 8 hours. Life is progressive. From 8 hours, you move to 10, 9, 10, like that. You keep working on yourself, right? It's a gradual process. But if you move straight from 8 to 16 hours, what do you think will happen to the person? The person will fall sick. The person will most likely fall sick, rather. So that is how it is. When you don't prepare ahead, when something comes and you're not really prepared for it, though it might seem like something good, till the negative effects start creeping in. Yes, you are earning more, significantly more than you were earning before, but just because you were not prepared for it, it affected something else, and that is exactly what the UK is facing. They benefit a lot from the intake of students. They benefit a lot from those coming in to work, but because they do not have enough system to manage the inflow, they did not prepare enough. I don't know if they did not expect it, but they just did not prepare enough for it. Because of that, is having a negative effect on the country, leading them to the need to curb it. And from the statistics, remember, they had an all-time high of 500,000. From the graph, you can see that there was a consistent increase. So now it has gotten to their breaking point. It has gotten to the point where they need to take precautions so that they do not lose control of the whole thing. Now they have gotten to the stage where the number of people is not balanced with the accommodation. So you understand? So they have to balance it first before they start taking in more people. So they have to balance it first. Then after balancing it, they can keep taking in more people with less control. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you have understood what I've explained so far. Let me give you another example. If you own a company, or let's just say there is a company and they have just 20 employees, and those 20 employees could manage 100 clients. All of a sudden, they became suddenly popular and they got significantly more orders than they used to. Therefore, they have, let's say, 200, right? And they do not get more employees. They don't prepare ahead, they don't get more employees, and they take all the orders. What do you think will happen? Is to go out of control. So this thing is just simple logic. It's not as if the UK is wicked or anything. It's simple logic. Things are a bit out of control according to reports, so they have to take precautions. Do you understand? So now, remember I told you to take note of low quality degrees and dependents. So that is what I want you guys to remember while I talk about this. Before now, Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, had a meeting with PM Modi, the Prime Minister of India. And after the meeting, Rishi Sunak gave a green light allowing 3,000 Indians. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has given a go-ahead for 3,000 visas for young professionals from India to work in the UK each year. And we all know that the Indians have migrated into the UK the most. True study, right? So I want you to think about this. The UK is trying to limit the amount of people to come into the country, but a particular country that has the most people that come in still got 3,000 more approved people to come in. So what does that tell you? You can see that it's not as if they are against people coming in, but they just want to have a control over it, right? So that will lead us back to the other two keywords that I told you to take note of: low quality degrees and dependents. And that will lead us to analyzing this. Low quality degrees generate low level of income, right? And they come with a lot of dependents. Do you get? So now it's not balanced because yes, they need more students. But why do they need to risk their economy for the low quality that's still bringing dependents that they might not need? Do you get? So in order to balance it, they are like, okay, there are a lot of low quality degrees. If we can couple this with the amount of dependents they come along with, then it will make more sense. Because I mean, if someone wants to study a tech course, for example, the fees and everything will generate a lot of revenue, right? Even though he wants to bring dependents, it will make more sense than someone that wants to do a low quality course just because he wants to get into the UK, that will still bring dependents with the person. So that is what they are trying to avoid. Do you get? So they are just actions to curb it. Low quality degrees, dependents. So now we all understand what is going on and why the UK is taking decisions, right? So what is the way forward? That is what we should be focused on. People will still keep getting into the UK if you get distracted by different things that you hear from different places, unverified information, half information. You will never get what you want. So you have to avoid all these distractions and make sure you look for solutions. What is the way forward? Since I know that low quality degrees are not an advantage and I want to do low quality degree because I want to spend less, what measures can I take? So there are different alternatives, right? There are other ways that you can get into the UK. There are work visas, there are scale-up visas, global challenge visas, minister of religious visa, and so on. That's why I told you guys about needing to understand these things so that you will not form a misconception in your head. They need more migrants, but they don't want low quality migrants because they already have a lot that they are trying to manage. Do you get? Because if they know that immigration is harming their economy, they would have not approved the Indians to bring 3,000 more people to work. They will not consider the fast track visa, which is the growth visa.